Hi there, I thought I'd just let you in on a little trick that I just showed our Adventurers Pathway students. We've got a Wednesday morning class where people who have painted in the beginner's course already and want to adventure out and learn some new techniques. We're actually working in acrylics and we're doing boats and reflections. So here's a bit of loose canvas that I've been painting on today. And I'll show you, I'll just tilt the camera so that you can see, there's a really cool trick for getting a nice horizon line at the top of the water because the water reflects all the colours in the sky. So this is a cool trick to show you how to get that really nice horizon line. So I'll just tilt the camera and so you can see what I'm looking at. This is actually the workstation that I teach the class through. So this is a painting that we did in one lesson today. It's called Calm Waters, and we wanted to put a little bit of a line across here to show just a little bit of a whiteness where it reflects the pale of the sky there reflects down onto the water. So when you're looking at an oceanscape, you'll see you actually see because water's invisible, it's actually reflecting the sky colour down onto the ocean. So if the sky always has a gradient from a rich colour up here down to pale down here where there's more atmosphere on the surface of the earth. So there's that lovely gradient on the sky there. Gradient always makes your paintings have a little bit more deliciousness than just having a flat colour. So the sky does have a natural gradient. It comes down to quite pale down there. And any reflection will always flip over. So you can see in the sail of the boat, that flips down so that if there's a red bit there, the red bit's close to it down there, but the flag on the top would come down to here. So across here, we wanted to get the pale of this sky across this top part of the painting. So we just painted the mountains and just made a bit of a mess under here. I've actually already done this step, but I just wanted to share it with you. So to get this really straight line across here, I just made a little mark where my horizon should be on this side, and I made a little mark where it should be on this side, and then just ignore that black mark there, that shouldn't be there. And so then what I did was I took some tape. So I had to make sure that all of the paint underneath here is completely dry, and then I got some tape to mask above the horizon. So this is a trick that the beginners in the watercolour class learn as well, where we're doing with watercolour and we need to lift out a little bit of colour along the horizon line. We tape above. You've got to make sure the underneath layer is completely dry. Otherwise your tape will lift up the paint. So that's the biggest risk with this technique, is that you'll lift up some paint that's not quite solid and rock hard yet. So there's two types of tapes that you can use. You could also use builders or painter's tape. It's kind of a blue or a green masking tape. That's a special tape that they use for masking along edges of walls and things. You could use that stuff, but that's quite strong tack. So tack is the amount of stickiness of the tape. So I prefer, on fresh paint like this, I prefer to just use a really weak tack tape. So low tack, it's called, T-A-C-K. So there's two ways. You can either get a roll of this Scotch magic tape, I call it green tape, or you can get the same box but blue, is called removable tape, and it has a blue core instead of this one actually has a white core in the middle. So if you lose your box, you can always tell which tape is which. But this blue one is less tacky than this one. So if you're worried about the paint lifting up at all, then this is a preferred option. Otherwise you can try that one, but just be aware that it may lift up a bit of wet paint. So what I do is I've got my marks there. Now I need to make sure, you can check also, you make sure your horizon's actually horizontal and make sure that it's exactly the right height on both sides. And then you roll out this tape and put it above. This is very hard to see because it's such invisible tape, but I would put it above the horizon that you're after and very gently press that down And then take your brush, lift up your white paint and just run it along that bottom edge. Don't go over the boat, but along here. And then finally peel that tape off and you've got a lovely clean, crisp, hard edge on the top side and then a softer edge underneath where the gradient starts to come down. That's a fun little tip for getting horizons into your waterscapes. So hopefully you've enjoyed that tip, and thanks for watching.